Alright, what's going on, everybody? So we are back here in Warframe, and this time for the build we are going to talk about the family of Bratons that are in the game. That's right, I'm going to do this all in one video because they are all relatively the same weapon. So let's start with, excuse me, with me pulling up this awesome comparison chart that I made. This freaking awesome. I mean, you can't make anything better than this. So anyway, so here we go. All four Bratons. You got the MK1, which is your starting. You got the Braton, which is your second weapon that you can quickly pick up once you got 7,500 credits. You've got the Prime, which is only available in the Void. And you got the Braton Vandal, which was a closed beta to open beta special weapon that was given to us. So, looking at the chart, okay, I've laid out everything as far as damage, accuracy, fire rate, critical, reload, and magazine. These are all the base stats that you would have in these four weapons. Now, the items that are boxed in blue are what I'm considering the best of the four in all the categories. The only one being that the MK1 Braton and the Vandal have the same 5% critical chance. Okay? Relatively speaking, you can see that they are all pretty much the same. There's good points and bad points to each. Obviously, the downer on the MK1 is the damage and the fire rate, and you know, that's why you're forced into the regular Braton, because your damage and your fire rate go up from there. And the regular Braton has the best fire rate out of all of them. However, it eats through ammo like nothing. You've got your reload, your best reloads on the MK1 versus your other three. But anyway, so this is I'm sorry. This is your comparison chart. Like I said, they are all relatively the same. Some minor changes here and there, tweaks on each one. So it really comes down to what you like the best. Obviously, as far as building for damage, the best one to build for damage is going to be the Prime at the highest damage right there. So let's get into the actual video, and I'm going to have some stuff playing in the background here, and let's talk about this. Alright, so here we go. This is how I currently have it set up. I have no plans on making it any better, doing anything like that as far as using Forma or anything. So it is what it is. It's a good weapon. I say that the weapons overall, if you build them, they, as you will see in the videos, you can get into probably the 40s against the enemy, against the Corpus, Grenier, and the Infestation. Anything above the mid-level 40s is going to start to get difficult, as you will see later on in one of the videos that I post here. So it's good until you're definitely until you reach about 40. After that, you gotta have a different weapon, which obviously your next weapon that you're gonna go for after you have the Braton will be probably the Boltor. I've done a video on the Boltor, so you guys can check that out if you want. It's relatively a good weapon. I still use it from time to time, but again, it's got its limitations. Anyway, so Braton Vandal for me. We're going to start off with the ever-friendly Serration mod. I've got it almost maxed out with 135% damage increase, so that takes my 20 to a 47 damage per shot. Okay, so that's pretty good. Wildfire, so I add an extra 30% magazine capacity and 60% fire damage. On these weapons, it is extremely important to have as much magazine capacity as you can. Hammer shot, critical damage, and of course we know the critical is not that great on here, but I'm doing it because I get the 40% stun. 40% stun is friggin' awesome. Okay, so you know you're gonna manage to stop your enemies pretty quickly there. I've added an extra 30% magazine warp capacity mod, so I've got the max I can get on the clip with this 30%, and this 20% gives me 68 in the clip. And that's pretty good. I got a rifle mutation mod, so I don't run out of ammo, which I still have managed to run out of ammo a couple times when I'm running by myself, generally. Shred mod, this is my choice. You could use metal auger, you could use split chamber, but the shred mod was my choice. I'm upping my fire rate by an additional 20%, and I'm also giving myself a puncture. In this case, it's only 0.8% puncture, but a puncture is a puncture nonetheless, and it helps knock out all of those shields real quick on the enemies, as you can probably see in the video. Piercing hit, I've brought my armor piercing up to 50% damage. Very nice. And then lastly, I added a small reload, a 15% reload speed, because I had the room for it and didn't have the room for much else. You could probably put something else in here, like let's say you want to put electrical damage or something like that, if you really wanted to. But I did this to bring down my fire rate just a tad. I'm sorry, my reload just a tad, and it seems to help out a little bit. So yeah, that's about where we stand with this. Serration for the damage, the stun on the hammer shot, and I mean you could do the stun, the straight stun, but you only get 12.5% on the straight stun. Derp. And that's why I use the hammer shot. Of course, I'm adding as much to the clip as I can, 50% capacity clip. Rifle mutation, you can change that to an ammo drum if you really wanted to, but you get 540 ammo in there, and usually you're pretty good at that, especially when you're running with a group of people. When you're by yourself, not so good. You want to have a decent secondary with you. Piercing hit, obviously, for your armor piercing, and then for me, my choice, like I said, is the shred mod. I want that puncture and the additional fire rate on this weapon. So, as you can see in the video below, I did run an exterminate. This was a Tower 2 exterminate in there, so I just put some clips in there for you to see. And if you have any questions or comments on this build, you know, leave them below. I'll gladly answer them for you. Like I said, this weapon for me, it's a good weapon. I like it, definitely on the low levels. You know, obviously when you start, since one of them is your starting weapon. Excuse me. It's a good weapon to have, but you will quickly drop this weapon off and move on to Voltor, and then move up from there. So it's nice to level up, get your level up out of it, get it as damage ready as possible, and you can use it against a few bosses and whatnot early on. But you know, relative to that, once you're done with the weapon, you finished it. The Prime, you know, it's got a higher base damage, and when I get the Prime weapon, I don't have it yet. When I get it, I'll use it, I'll level it, and it'll just sit in my inventory after that. Because even with just an extra 5 base damage, it's still not going to be enough to get me past level 40 enemies, 40 to 45 enemies. So, anyway, that's about it on this. So leave comments, questions below. Hit the like button if you did like this. I will gladly answer any questions you have, like I said. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed for this and all the other videos that I do post on the channel. Obviously, Warframe is my main game that I stick with for you guys. And everything else, there's a lot of other stuff there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out here. I'm going to drop in a little defense run that myself, Zetas, and Daxtron from the clan ran the other day against the infestation, and you will see in these 5 rounds that it does get to be a little overbearing at times with the Braton. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and check out some of the other videos on my channel. And I will catch everybody in the next episode. I've got some more builds coming up and some more gameplay. So we will see you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
You will be rewarded for your bravery. Multiple biosignatures detected. We've got infested incoming. impressive, Tenno. You held them all back. Time to get out of here.